You never realize just how amazing air travel is until you fly long haul. Journeys that would have once taken weeks or even months to complete now only take a couple of hours, traversing all sorts of landscapes along the way. Join me as we leave behind the hot and dry Middle East for the cold and snowy Midwest. A 15-hour ultra-long-haul voyage from Doha to Chicago with Qatar Airways' Boeing 777-300ER in Q Suite, the world's best business class. This video will cover every aspect of the journey from start to finish as I make my way back to the United States after almost a month in Pakistan. That being said, I invite you to please sit back, relax, and enjoy this journey home. After arriving from Karachi, I had 3 hours to spend in Doha before catching my next flight to Chicago. Connecting through Hamad International Airport is very easy since all you need to do is pass through a quick security checkpoint. After that, you're free to roam around the airport and catch your connecting flight. Hamad International was recently ranked as the world's best airport, and for good reason. The terminal is architecturally stunning while simultaneously being easy to navigate and offering lots of amenities. Qatar Airways and all Oneworld business class passengers receive complimentary access to the Al Morjan Lounge, which is located on level 3. Now, I mentioned earlier that Hamad International was ranked as the best airport in the world. But in case that wasn't enough, the Al Morjan Lounge itself was recently ranked as best business class lounge in the world. I won't spend too much time reviewing the lounge today as I've already done so in a previous video. If you're interested, be sure to check out my Doha to Karachi trip report, in which I reviewed the Al Morjan Lounge in full detail. This morning, I spent about 2 hours in the lounge getting some breakfast and rest before finally heading to the gate. The early morning hours, primarily from 2 to 9 a.m., are the busiest times of day here in Doha. The arrival rush takes place from 2 to 7:30 a.m., with around 70 flights scheduled to land during this time frame. The departure rush begins almost immediately after and is even busier, with 70 more flights departing in a span of just 2 hours between 7 and 9:15 a.m. Our flight to Chicago this morning departs at 8:25 a.m. from gate C7. If you ever fly from Doha to the United States, chances are your flight will almost always depart from Concourse C, and that's because these gates are specially built with secondary security checkpoints. All US-bound passengers will have to clear the secondary checkpoint along with passport and document check before finally entering the gate area. The gate areas for US-bound flights are separated from the rest of the terminal by a glass wall, so once you're in, there's really no turning back. The gate areas also have really limited seating, so be sure to get there a little early so at least you have a place to sit. The seats fill up really fast, and once they do, the remaining passengers have to wait outside the gate area before the checkpoint. Then, as you can imagine, it gets really chaotic because these passengers then have to clear the security checkpoint as soon as boarding starts. This always ends up taking longer than it should and is part of the reason why every single US-bound flight never departs on time. Our aircraft today is one of the newest 777-300ERs in the fleet. This aircraft features 354 seats consisting of 42 in Q-Suite Business and 312 in Economy.
Flight a member of the One World Alliance. After you have found your seat, please place your hand luggage in the overhead compartment or under.
Q-Suite Business Class is laid out in a 1-2-1 configuration, with rows 8 through 11 being in a smaller section. My Q-Suite today is 10A, which is rear-facing. As I've mentioned in previous videos, all rear-facing seats in Q-Suite are situated by the window, thus making them more private than the front-facing seats, which are closer to the aisle. Each Q-Suite comes with a huge touchscreen in-flight entertainment monitor with a small shelf underneath. Below is a large tray table which can be released at the push of a button. At the bottom is a very large footwell, and then moving towards the window side is an adjustable armrest. In front and to your left side is a large shelf currently occupied by a small pillow, bedding, amenity kit, hygiene kit, and the welcome refreshments. Today I opted for an orange juice, which was served alongside a hot towelette. Below the shelf is a small cubby where the menu cards and smaller belongings can be stored. Right here are the seat controls along with an NFC sensor, HDMI port, USB port, headphone jack, another USB port, and a universal power outlet. Just over here is the in-flight entertainment remote control, which can also be extended towards you. Finally, all the way at the bottom is a small seat pocket for the safety cards. Directly to your left is an adjustable reading light and coat hook, followed by a small ottoman which can also be raised and lowered. Inside you'll find the air sickness bag, water bottle, noise-canceling headphones, and some decent storage space. Of course, the Q-Suite tour wouldn't be complete without acknowledging the sliding door, which is currently locked for takeoff. Above each seat are personal air vents and reading lights, and then even before you sit down, you are greeted with this beautifully decorated pillow. And also, because this is a long-haul flight, each business class passenger receives a pair of pajamas shortly before departure. We'll take a closer look at these after we take off.
When the seatbelt sign is illuminated, you must, and I repeat must, remain in your seat with your seatbelt fastened. And the page that shows with our lighting will guide you to the emergency exit. It's an emergency landing on board, an evacuation slide. In the unlikely event of an emergency landing, please adopt the appropriate brace position. Now imagine
Qatar Airways Oryx One in-flight entertainment system is truly one of the best out there. In terms of entertainment, there are loads of movies and TV shows across a variety of genres and languages. The system has a dedicated section for promoting Qatar, another for kids entertainment, and one where you can read the entire Holy Quran. You can also connect mobile devices and find some more information about Qatar Airways. One thing I found pretty amusing was that when you click on destination info, it really has nothing to do with your actual destination. Instead of there being things like local time or local weather, there is just a list of random cities, which is kinda useless. The 777 entertainment system features a non-interactive in-flight map, which is still decent in my opinion. The last time I flew Qatar Airways before this trip was 2013, and it's kind of funny that this map is pretty much exactly the same as it was back then. Aside from controlling the system, the remote can also double as a mini entertainment screen. I think the best use of it in this case would be to display the moving map on the remote while watching a movie on the big screen. The business class amenity kits on this flight were made by Diptyque. I found this pretty interesting as on my Chicago to Doha flight 3 weeks earlier, we received the Montevibiano amenity kits. Anyway, inside the Diptyque amenity kit is a bottle of cologne, body lotion, lip balm, face cream, earplugs, an eye mask, and a pair of socks. Next up is the hygiene kit, which comes with a singular disposable face mask, disposable gloves, and packets of hand sanitizer. Shortly after reaching cruise altitude, I decided to change into the pajamas. These pajamas are made by the White Company and also come with a pair of slippers. The pajamas are very loose-fitting and comfortable, absolutely perfect for long flights like this. Qatar Airways catering is among the best out there, and the dining experience in Q Suite is truly one of a kind. You can order pretty much whatever you want, whenever you want, which sounds kind of excessive, and to be honest, I was always pretty scared to take advantage of that. It's probably just a habit I developed after flying economy class my entire life. About an hour after takeoff, I decided to go for a light brunch. I started off with a fresh fruit plate with some water on the side. As always, the fruit was fresh and juicy. When dining in Q Suite on long-haul flights, the crew always makes sure to set your table up with an artificial candle. It's kind of unnecessary, but it really makes the experience feel so much more premium. After the fruit plate, I decided to go with one of the light options, this being the lobster claw and avocado open sandwich, served with Caesar salad. I'll be honest, this is not something I'm used to eating, and I didn't really enjoy this as much as I should have. Overall, it was okay, but not something I'd order again. After finishing my food, I requested to have my bed made so I could rest a little bit. My guy Ashwin, who was the crew member looking after me, happily agreed and made the bed in no time. Believe it or not, despite this flight being 15 hours long, it takes place completely during the daytime as we chase the sun westward. Regardless, the calm mood lighting and everyone's window shades being closed make it much easier to fall asleep. When the seat is fully flat, there are two buttons you will find to your left side. The bottom one returns the seat to its upright position, while the top one controls the footwell and cubby lights. Overall, the bed was very comfortable and I slept for about 3 hours. However, one issue with the bed that I've highlighted before is that the seat's headrest is very big. It's so big, in fact, that even with the bedding in between, the headrest still manages to poke you in the back while you sleep. Luckily, it's not too big of a deal and you'll still manage to sleep pretty well. Now, one unfortunate commonality that I noticed across all 4 of my flights in Q Suite is that there always seemed to be one part of the seat that was scratched up really badly, whether it be the seat belt, the door, or the armrest. I'm not sure why this is or how these were even scratched up so badly, but I wasn't very happy to see them in such conditions, especially in such a world-renowned product like Q Suite. Shortly after leaving North Africa, I decided to order another light snack. This time, I went for the prawn tikka masala, which was served with rice and papad. For my drinks, I chose the non-alcoholic pineapple margarita and some more water. As if you couldn't tell, this is a very South Asian-inspired dish, and being South Asian myself, I enjoyed it very much. I managed to get 4 more hours of really good sleep and woke up shortly before we entered North America. I was getting pretty hungry again, so I finally ordered an actual full-course meal. The service started off with this delicious tomato soup, served with pineapple punch as my drink, and bread, butter, and salt and pepper shakers on the side. For the main course, I ordered the braised Irish beef with barbecue sauce, which was served with mashed potatoes and grilled vegetables. Of course, the meal tasted just as good as it looked. Finally, as my last official meal on the flight, I went for the chocolate mousse as my dessert. Interestingly enough, this wasn't even listed on the menu, but Ashwin offered it to me as I was ordering, and I gladly accepted.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you have had a comfortable flight with us. We have commenced our initial descent into Chicago and the seatbelt signs will be switched on by the captain shortly. Those of you who would like to use...
Time really does fly by when you're having fun. Sure enough, this ultra long-haul flight went by before I knew it, and soon it was finally time to descend into Chicago. Much of our descent took place over Michigan and Lake Michigan. After turning base over the lake, we would come in straight past downtown Chicago for landing on runway 28 Center. Unfortunately, the weather in Chicago was very cloudy, therefore we couldn't get any views of downtown as we came in to land.
destination require you to identify and collect all checked baggage and proceed through immigration and customs, regardless of your final destination.
I really couldn't tell you how happy I was to finally be back on American soil. While I love being in Pakistan and was sad to leave, there is really no better feeling than coming back home after being away for so long. My experience with Qatar Airways in Q Suite today was nothing short of exceptional. The food, seat, and crew were absolutely amazing, and Ashwin, if you somehow end up watching this video, I just wanted to thank you so much once again for making this flight even more enjoyable. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings an end to this video and this whole series of videos from my recent trip to Pakistan. I'm so thankful to have gotten the chance to make these videos, and it really makes me happy that you all enjoyed them for the most part. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. If you have any feedback or questions for me, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment below. With that being said, thank you so much for joining me today. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you next time.